let's discuss some of the museums that house lots of these artifacts. While the millions of artifacts from the Cahokia farm site at Wampum Lake are primarily held in professional research repositories, specific items are periodically made available to the public through local and state institutions. Some is for primary research and some is for curation repositories, meaning they take the bodies and medical programs use the bodies. All right. These institutions that I am going to name hold the bulk of the excavated materials for professional study and long-term preservation. The only thing about it is, I just can't imagine all of these people, all ages, all ethnicities, and mostly one race. Everywhere they go, they dig up the bodies of not their ancestors, but ours. And they take the artifacts. They take the bodies and claim them as theirs. Put them away. Perform science research on them and studies. It's disheartening that there are people walking around doing this. It's mind-boggling. Are they doing it in Poland? Are they doing it in England? Are they doing it in Asia? Are they doing it in Turkey and Spain right now and the new modern Rome? Are they doing it in these areas? That is digging up their own people. That is if they are actually burying their own people, because there are cremation services. All right, so these institutions hold the bulk of excavated materials for, again, professional study and long-term preservation. First is Illinois State Museum, located in Springfield, Illinois. As the legal repository for artifacts found on public lands in Illinois, the ISM, which is the Illinois State Museum, holds the vast majority of the Cahokia Farm collection. That is the collection by Dalton. What they found at Dalton, Thornridge, Thornton, Calumet City, Lansing, Burnham, Harvey, Robbins. Right? The research and the collection centers there state that they have stored over 97,000 square feet of information and artifacts and bodies. And it's by appointment only to do the research. Then we have the Illinois State Archaeological Society. It's located in northern Illinois, in Elgin. It actually originally processed, cleaned, and documented the thousands of artifacts recovered during the 2000-2003 highway salvage projects before transferring them to the state museums. That means when someone got ready to dig up the ground for laying down a highway in the year 2000 to 2003, which is still happening today, meaning when they go to dig up these areas, they're finding the bodies. And it so happens to be definitely with the highways. And then we have the Field Museum. I'm telling you, I'm getting at something. Just keep your mind on the Bishop Ford and the Lansing Road. All of those areas, they actually connect to, Northwest Indiana. The Field Museum conducted the initial 1953 excavations at the site. If you keep believing that all of this excavation and discovering and digging up happened in 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, you are sadly mistaken. They didn't get all of Indiana till the nearly end of the 1800s. That is going into the 1900s, where you will then have states like Florida, the Indians beginning to get removed, or the wars, and they're fleeing. And then you have the Dodge Rolls, and you have the Indian Rolls. You're having the Dodge Rolls close up. Then they're finding all of this, these bodies and the artifacts and the culture, because they already know that they did logistics for all of these people, meaning when they set up the agency systems for the Amerindians to give them the information of their name, their tribes, their chiefs, their cultures, their hobbies. This information is documented. The locations, what they know about the rivers, what they know about the mountains, where did they originally come from? What landmass, what nation did you marry into? This information is being extracted from those that were paid to set up the agency systems, where they would make the determination and begin to completely document that the Indian coming is then erased and stated that he is now black. So there's no more Indian rights at that point. That's what the agency system's job was to do. The agent, that's why they call them agents. It's not a made-up name, it's not a sci-fi name. That's what their job was, and that's the title that they were given, agency systems. There are people that went to the agency systems, they're surrendering, like Geronimo. And then he would leave and go fight some more. Go back to Florida. He would go to other cities and states, or he'd go to Mexico. See, the Mexicans today have claimed Geronimo as one of theirs. And Geronimo is nearly 100% black. By this time, the 1900s, they already had Mexico for over 600 years now. So there's 600 years of nothing but mating with the Spaniards or the French or any other European that went there. They didn't get the Americas that quick. They didn't get the southeast coast that quickly. And they didn't get it easily. They had to do trickery. It wasn't the physical wars that got the conquerors or the foreigners, the settlers, the colonizers to the Americas that assisted in the wars. They didn't win by might. They won by trickery and a pen. So hold your heads up. Now, those are at least 3 places in Illinois. Now there's a 4th one. The Thornton Historical Society Museum. I never been there. I lived in that area, so I'm going to have to go and see what that is all about. But that's in Thornton, Illinois, and there are artifacts there. Thornton Public Library. The library hosts temporary displays, which is also Thornton, Illinois, that holds artifacts around the time of 2019 historical marker dedication. Then the Dixon Mounds, which is a state museum in Lewistown, Illinois. It is a branch of the Illinois State Museum, which is dedicated to Indigenous history. This museum actually features rotating exhibits of upper Mississippian Oneida artifacts, which is similar to those found at the Wampum Lake. Now you know that I had to dig further and find some site plans and the excavation, some documents with that are cited, right? Which means that it's documented and it is part of peer review for research purposes, right? Now there's an excavation that happened in the 9th Ward as well. I'm going to get into what the 9th Ward, where is it located. Now, the intersection of the 9th Ward, Allodial Gardens, which is Chicago housing projects, they're not tall buildings at all, and the Bishop Ford Expressway. So we have the 9th Ward, some projects that's by 127. If you drive down it, north of that street, you're going to find industrial. I think it's a lake right there. A lot of people don't know it. It's also more forest preserves. And the Bishop Ford is east of there. East of the Bishop Ford is a dump site. And I'm going to get into that. It's actually a mound height. And for decades, I lived in Dalton. For decades, the stench, the odor was the most breathtaking smell that I ever smelled in my life. It smelled like death. There's times that it smelled like chocolate or a sweet smell. And no one can tell me that they believe that to be a smell of a factory or garbage. That wasn't garbage. So let's get into this. Now, again, the intersection of the 9th Ward, Allodial Gardens, and the Bishop Ford Expressway, formerly called what? The Calumet Expressway. If you don't know, Bishop Ford was the bishop for a while of the COGIC, which is the Church of God in Christ. So that expressway was not always there. It was built back in the 80s and the 90s, I believe, that extended Chicago, the south side of Chicago. And I think it took you all the way down to like Crete or Monet or something like that, or Chicago Heights. Chicago Heights, again, is a Indian territory as well. Alright, so the Bishop Ford was named after the Bishop Ford. His name is Ford, last name is Ford, who was the Bishop for a while of the Church of God in Christ denomination. Alright, so those three intersections, although it's often overlooked, I don't think everybody overlooks it, but it contains a significant archaeological history tied to the Hoxie Farm site. Remember, I've already discussed the Hoxie Farm site. So now we're going to tie in the 9th Ward, the Allodial Gardens, and the Bishop Ford Expressway. This site, located near the expressway's path and Allodial Gardens, was a major prehistoric settlement that suffered extensive damage during mid-20th century infrastructure expansion. That would be the 1900s. That's not that far away, people. Let's go. Now, the excavation and discovery at Hoaxie Farm. 1. The 1953 salvage excavation. The most critical excavation occurred in 1953 as a salvage project. Salvage means garbage. Before the construction of the Calumet versus Calumet, known today as the Bishop Ford Expressway. Calumet is Amerindian. That Calumet was named after the Amerindians, named by the Amerindians. It's not a European name. That's why when you look on the baking soda, what do you see? Calumet. Alright, so before the construction of the Calumet Expressway, which destroyed large portions of the site, this emergency dig was led by, here we go, the Field Museum of Natural History, which means in 1953, someone told them that there were bodies there. What is disgusting is the fact that the smell that came from there, which was burning 24 hours a day. So I already knew the smell was horrible. Everybody knew it. So my research, every time I drive there, I kept telling my kids, those are Indian mounds. Those are Indian mounds. And I finally started really digging further. And yep, the area was the Indigenous burial sites where they were burning the remains. Now, let's get into the discovery of the remains and mounds. The excavations uncovered a fortified village containing a dense concentration of approximately 1,500 prehistoric features, including residential longhouses and defensive trenches. Then there are the burials. At least 70 burials were documented at the site. Because there's 70 doesn't mean that the burials were small or contain one person. It can be 70 100-acre locations. All right. Now, the remains were often found in storage pits or within the village area. They shouldn't have never been bothered because you found them in storage pits, indicating a period of high density living and potential conflict. The dump site and the destruction of remains. Now, the narrative goes that regarding the dump site and the burning of remains is rooted in the physical reality of the highways construction. Let me read that for you again. The narrative regarding the dump site and the burning of remains is rooted in the physical reality of the highways construction. Now, we have the burial pit as a dump site. To build the elevated interchanges for the Bishop Ford I-94, contractors used the area now known as Wampum Lake as a burial pit. They excavated massive amounts of soil to use as bedding material for the road, essentially dumping the top layers of the archaeological site to create the highway's foundation. So over those highways, every time I drive to Bishop Ford, nothing seems right to me about driving the Bishop Ford. absolutely nothing. I'm never at ease. It doesn't matter what vehicle I'm in or who's driving. Something doesn't seem right or fit right driving the Bishop Ford Expressway, and I can't wait to get off of it. And now to really know that they built on top of this site, burned many of the remains. Here's another angle. Driving on the expressway, you would think that you were driving on a plate of grease. Always in my mind, it was whatever was burning would go up in the air, come back down onto the expressway, and make the expressway greasy, which caused what? A lot of the accidents that took place on the Bishop Ford. The mounds were taller than the highway. You're heading northeast of there. The mounds were on that side. Forest Preserve is on the west side heading south. And the road is always greasy. Now, let's direct our attention to the burning of the remains. Archaeology, or the archaeological reports from the Hoaxie farm site, explicitly mention those fire pits. What did they do? They contain ash and carbonized material. Some skeletal remains found in these areas show signs of discoloration and high temperature burning. Didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, because guess what? The burning continued. So there were lots of bodies. That burning continued all the way till probably a couple of years ago. Let me back and reread it. Some skeletal remains found in these areas show signs of discoloration and high temperature burning, though researchers debate whether this was due to ritual cremation, accidental structure fires, or intentional warfare. Then we have the mound destruction. Unlike the preserved windfill mounds, most of the earthworks and mounds in the Calumet region were leveled or paved over during the construction of the expressway and the development of the Allodial Gardens housing community in the 1940s, which means all they did was lay dirt, cement, and gravel over those mounds, which are our burial sites and our spiritual high grounds. This paving, once again, they preserved the windfill mounds, but the mounds by the Calumet City region, most of the earthworks and mounds in the Calumet region were leveled or paved over during the construction of the expressway and the development of the Allodial Gardens housing community in the 1940s. Now, what is the connection to Allodial Gardens? Allodial Gardens was built in the 1940s to house the Black Americans, the veterans, and war workers, which situated directly in this industrial and archaeological sensitive landscape. Around the corner, passing the bridge there, or the underpass, which has a little bed of water. I don't know if that's a lake or a river. what it is, right there at 119th. They're not 119th, 127, I believe. 127 at Halstead. And you go around that bend to get to Allodial or Dalton. So that area for, the Allodial Garden Housing Projects was specifically built to house the black veterans, what we call the quote-unquote black veterans and war workers. Pullman is around the corner. Now, the community for the Allodial Gardens has a long history of environmental activism due to being surrounded by landfills. They complained about the landfills all the time. Meanwhile, they kept burning those bodies, pretending it was garbage. The activism continued throughout history about the environment surrounding the landfills and the industrial sites. Now there's a legacy that mirrors the burial of the ancients, or the area's ancient history beneath modern waste and infrastructure. Sadly. Now there are specific environmental reports regarding the landfills surrounding Allodial Gardens. There are maps of the areas where the tribes live. There's also, remember, 1920 is when the Dawes Roads closed. All of their people are starting to come over. 1940, Ellis Island. By 1953, they wasn't all here. All of those from European lands were not here yet. But sure enough, those blacks were, that they began to, either was already in the area living, because they have a habit of saying that they're slaves and African slaves. But by 1953, you have a entire, what we call it, not the Renaissance, but the era where it's rebuilding, reset. There are official state archaeological reports regarding this 1953 dig. Alright, so I'm going to cite that within this research. Thank you for joining me.
Ancestry and genealogy, not a story. No, no, no. We're 80% African and 20% other. Is another lie. If you know, then you know. Welcome to my ancestors' voices, such an alignment.